What is up, guys? Justin here, ringing in 2017 with another pretty massive haul. This deal here is kind of unique in that it's the first sort of large-scale purchase that I've made from another local video game collector. You guys have seen me buy large lots of stuff before, but it's never been from somebody that actually considers himself a game collector. And so this was just a response to my Craigslist ad. This guy got a hold of me and said that he had a bunch of his extra stuff that he was looking to unload. And so he sent me some pictures, but I ended up just going over to his place and checking it all out anyway. And we ended up striking a deal for everything that he was looking to get rid of. So what you guys are going to notice with this one is that it is a very system-heavy deal. I did get some games with the deal, which I will get into, but I'm going to do this pickup video in the style of some of my other larger hauls where, as I was unboxing and organizing it all, I took some video along the way showing everything that I got. Rather than trying to show you everything right here, it just wouldn't work out. So let's hop into this here with the majority of the Nintendo systems that I got with this deal. So hopping into this here, this original Game Boy case is actually empty. He just threw that in with the deal. But next to it is an NES top loader, two original NES systems. There was 3 Model 1 Super Nintendos, along with a Model 2 Super Nintendo, the SNES Mini. There was an original Game Boy system, an atomic purple Game Boy Color, a white Game Boy Advance, a pink DS Lite, a blue DSi, and an N64 system. So I actually didn't get any games for any of those systems with this deal. I'm sure he has a bunch of games, but him being a collector, he's hanging on to them. These were just his extra systems that he was looking to sell. I also didn't get any of the cords for these systems. There might have been like one Super Nintendo AC adapter that I got, but the rest of them didn't have any cords, and it was all console only. So it's going to be a challenge to kind of piece all of these systems together, but I'm always up for a good challenge. So anyway, let's move on now to the rest of the Nintendo systems that I got with this deal. So here it is. 3 Virtual Boy systems came with this deal. There's 2 loose ones here, both of which had controllers with them. There was also an extra stand. And then this boxed Virtual Boy system, which in my opinion was one of the highlights of the deal. Let's take a closer look inside here. It was pretty basic what it came with, really. I mean, it was the system, the stand, the controller, the battery pack, the instructions were in there, and the only thing it was missing, I believe, was the Mario Tennis cartridge that came packed in with it, which I'll have no problem finding one to complete this set. Mario Tennis is like the Mario Bros. Duck Hunt of the Virtual Boy. But anyway, I had to assume that since there was 3 Virtual Boys that not all of them were going to work 100%, and I was correct. I did test out all 3 of them. One of the loose ones there worked seemingly 100%. I didn't have any issues with it. But the other loose one and the one in the box both had the common video issues with the Virtual Boys. They're so temperamental. I think I've owned like 6 or 8 of them now since I started collecting, and I've had 1, maybe 2 now that have worked 100%. I know there's fixes you can do with them by taking the ribbons out and baking them in the oven like a Red Ring 360 or something, but I don't know if I'm going to mess with them. I think I just might cut my losses, put the working one in the box to complete it, and then just sell all the other broken ones that I have now to someone who can make 1 or 2 working ones out of all of them. So anyway, those are the Virtual Boy systems. Let's move on to the Sega systems and a few games that I got with this deal. So there was a boxed Model 2 Sega Genesis that came with the deal, which I'll show in more detail in just a second here. There was also a Sega Saturn, along with a couple of games, Tomb Raider, Solar Eclipse, nothing too special. There was a Sega Master System that came with the deal, along with a Dreamcast with a couple third-party controllers there. But let's take a closer look at this Sega Genesis system here. The box for it was actually in pretty nice shape, not perfect, but not bad. And it looked to be almost complete. The system, along with 2 controllers, were in there, still in their baggies. There was a power adapter and what looks to be the instructions. I think the only thing it was missing was the RF cord, which I can find one of those no problem. Although the front of the box also says there was supposed to be a free stadium cushion inside. kind of like a bleacher seat, I guess. That wasn't in there, which was kind of disappointing because that would have been pretty cool to get. Let's see what we got next here. Let's take a look at the 3DO stuff that I got with this deal. So here it is, the second 3DO system that I found in the last month. Now this one here is the FC1 model. The one I picked up just a few weeks ago was the FC10 model. There's a few games that came with this one: Shockwave, Gex, FIFA Soccer, Sherlock Holmes, Mad Dog 2, and VR Stalker. Now I haven't tested this system yet. It looks to be in pretty nice shape, so crossing my fingers that that works. It would be pretty cool to have said I found two different model 3DOs in a month. I mean, it was a system I haven't found in a pretty long time. So anyway, let's go throwback here. Let's check out the Intellivision stuff I got with this deal. It ended up being a system and a crap ton of boxed games. So here's the Intellivision system here. It was in pretty nice shape and tested and working, so that was cool. Came with a boxed IntelliVoice voice synthesis module, which the box is a little beat up, but it's almost brand new inside. It still has like the bubble wrap and everything. And then just a ton of boxed games. I'm not going to read all of these off individually, but I'll kind of slowly pan over them here so you guys can see what they were. I don't know a whole lot about Intellivision games, so I did look all of these up just to make sure I didn't have like a diamond in the rough here, but I didn't. There was like one or two that might be worth like 10 or 15 bucks, but the rest of them are all pretty dirt cheap, as I expected. But even still, to come across a boxed lot like that, it's not something you see every day, so that was still pretty exciting. Let's move on to the Atari 2600 stuff that I got with this deal. So I got two 2600 systems with the deal. The first one was just one of the original wood grain 4-switch systems, and then there was also the black Vader model in there, along with two power adapters and a mix mash of joysticks and paddle controllers. And then quite a few games actually, which I will slowly pan over here for you guys. Nothing that I haven't seen before. All the Atari games I got were pretty common for the most part. Nothing expensive by any means, but I did test both the systems. They both worked surprisingly well. And I guess keeping with the Atari stuff here, let's take a look at these 5200 and 7800 stuff. So I got two Atari 7800 systems, both of which are in pretty nice shape. It only came with one power adapter, but I was able to use that to test both of them, and both the 7800s do work. Now the 5200 system I got, on top of being a 4-controller port system, which I've never owned before, was actually in really nice shape. I think all the other ones I've ever had, that back flap was always cracked off and everything. This one was in really nice shape. Unfortunately though, I wasn't able to test it because I did not have a power adapter for it, and it didn't come with one. So I'm not sure if that works or not. The games that came with these systems were really nothing special. I mean, for the 5200 there was 2 copies of Pac-Man along with some other standard titles, and then for the 7800 there was the Mario Bros and Donkey Kong, but that was really it. So nothing too special on the games, but at least I know for sure 2 out of those 3 systems work, which I guess for any Atari lot I'll take 66% any day. But let's move on to the ColecoVision stuff that I got. Now, not a whole lot to show for the ColecoVision bundle here. It was a pretty small bundle, but I guess the key was it did come with the Goliath power adapter, so I was able to test it and confirm that it is a working ColecoVision. Came with like 8 games there, nothing worth spending too much time talking about, so we'll just leave it at that, a working system with a handful of games. Let's move on next though to the Texas Instruments 99 computer that I got. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot to say about the Texas Instruments 99 computer because I don't know anything about it. It came with a couple of these like metal speech box things, a handful of games, and a magazine with Bill Cosby on the cover. And that's about all I can say about it. I wasn't able to test it because even though it came with the power adapter, I didn't have the right video cord for it. I think maybe if I had one of those old TVs with like the metal prong things, I might have been able to test it, so I don't know. I'm just going to have to leave it at that, and let's move on to some of the other computer stuff that I got with this deal. So there was two VIC-20 keyboard systems and a monitor. The monitor is not like a Commodore monitor, like a VIC monitor or anything. I think it was just like a generic one that the guy bought to play these systems. The keyboards aren't in great shape. Well, one of them's alright. The other one is missing a few keys, which I found in the bottom of the box they came in. Speaking of box, there's a boxed Odyssey 2 that came with the deal. Now, I have owned an Odyssey 2 before. I have played on one before. I can't say it was overly fun, but I guess to get one in the box was kind of cool. Let's take a quick look inside. There's not a whole lot to show. I mean, it was the system and had the power cord, and the two paddles are actually hardwired into the system. And there was a few games that were stuffed in the box as well. I don't really know anything about them. You know, Pickaxe Pete is kind of a cool name for a video game, I guess. And there's like a Pac-Man clone in there or something. But yeah, let's move on. Actually, finally, to the rest of I guess the more random systems that I got with this deal. So wrapping up this pickup video with some of the other, I guess, random systems that didn't really fit in anywhere else in this video. There was two PlayStation systems, a PS2 Slim, a PS2 Fat, a boxed Retro Duo system, which I haven't even opened up yet, an Atari Jaguar system with a couple games, Hover Strike and Bruce Lee game, and then what looks to be a Famicom disk system. So I'm going to talk about that disk system in a second, but let's focus back on this Atari Jaguar for just a second here. I've never owned a Jaguar myself. Ryan has one that we picked up way a long time ago when we started this channel, but I've never had one myself, so this is kind of cool. It came with the controller, and you saw the couple games there, but it didn't have the adapters. So I believe the video cord or RF cord is just a standard RF cord, so I can even use like a Nintendo one probably if I want to. And I'm not sure about the power adapter. I'll have to look into that. I guess I can borrow Ryan's to at least test the system to make sure it works before I put any money into it. But yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Atari Jaguar system. I have played Ryan's before, so I have some experience with it, but not a whole lot. So if I can get that one running, that would be kind of cool. And then this Famicom disk system. Let's take a closer look at this. Now, I don't know a whole lot about it, I'll be honest. It says Super Disk on top. I'm assuming, judging by the picture on the front of the box, that this is what goes on top of the Super Famicom. There's a cartridge slot for games there. And then it came in the box was a bunch of these floppy disks, which I'm not exactly sure what they are. I'm sure a lot of you know and can drop a comment and give me some info on this thing. Let me know, what I need to get it working, if it's all there, and if I can just plug it into, borrow Ryan's Super Famicom and test it out. I think it would be pretty cool to play it, just to say that I played a Famicom disk system. Just something that I never thought that I would find in the wild up here where I'm at. Just one of those interesting things, and just cool to have, honestly, especially coming in the box and everything. So I might do an update video on this if I ever get it up and working. I think it would be a cool video to show you guys what it is as I'm finding out what it is myself. But anyway, yeah, that was the last stuff I had to show that I got with the original deal. But I'll tell you guys a story right now about what I did with a lot of this stuff. So what did I pay for everything? Now this one did a number on the old bank account, but luckily it was payday when I went and picked up this deal. I paid $625 for everything that I just showed, which is a pretty crazy amount of money. But I have to feel like, seeing as I got it from a collector who knew what he had, knew essentially what it was all worth, I have to feel like that's a pretty solid deal. Now, here's where the story gets kind of interesting though, because all the old computer stuff, the Atari stuff, the Intellivision, the Coleco, the Texas Instruments 99, it's not really what I'm into collecting right now. I used to collect for that kind of stuff, but quickly ran out of room. It was stuff that I was never going to play. So I don't collect for those systems anymore, but I do know somebody that does. It's not Ryan. If you guys remember, a few months ago I traded a bunch of old computer stuff that I found at a garage sale to another local guy who is into all that kind of stuff, and he traded me a bunch of NES games for it. So as I was posting pictures of this stuff on our Facebook page, he saw them and hit me up and said, hey, I'm interested in all that stuff. And so he came over the very next day, and that's when we tested all the older systems and stuff. and I ended up working out a deal with him for all of the old, computer, Atari, Coleco, and Intellivision stuff. So I ended up getting the majority of my cash back the very next day for this deal. I'm not going to say exactly how much it was, but I will say that it was the majority of my money back. In addition to the cash that he gave me, he also traded me a couple things that I wanted to show in this video. The first of which being a boxed copy of Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse for the NES. This does not have the manual in here, but it does have like the postcard thing, and I actually do have a manual for this game, so I will be able to complete it. Definitely a cool one to get for the collection. Never had this one complete before. And then also, he traded me just the box and manual for Final Fight 2 for the Super Nintendo, one that I don't have complete. Not an easy one to find complete. It's not in phenomenal shape, but it's definitely collection worthy and an awesome addition at that. So yeah, that was where the story kind of got interesting. But in addition to that, just the fact that I found another local collector who I didn't actually see his collection or anything, but seeing all the stuff I got from him was his extras. I have to assume that he has a pretty sizable collection, so I think he'll be a good contact to have. He was like my age. I mean, he seemed like a really cool guy. So it was awesome to have met him, and awesome to ring in 2017 with a haul of this size, I guess. So anyway, thank you guys for sticking around and checking out this video. And until next time, take care.